All right, guys, going to be working on today's build project. My tripod is not here. It's supposed to get here tomorrow. So I'm on this pretty ghetto rigged. Let me zoom out. Well, it's hard to see. Maybe I'll take a picture after I'm done, but the framing is not going to be very good. And probably this is going to wobble. But I'm just trying to get something done today. So today, working on this thing. Let me fix some more lighting. Okay. I don't know how visible any of this is. All right, so will this focus? Okay, so working on this camera. It's a Nikon P7100. It's one of the last, so it's a little point and shoot. It's one of the last Nikon point and shoots that has a CCD sensor, which I really like. I think the colors, it just has amazing colors. It even takes like 1080 p 30 frames per second video. So it'd be fun to play around with. Okay, so basically I bought this for my daughter. She got about an hour out of it before it broke. So let me just make sure this is in focus. Okay, so this is like the little leaf curtain that goes right there. I had to basically pry this piece off, and the curtain got stuck. And the reason it got stuck is, well, I thought I was all done fooling with this thing. It's pretty hard to keep it in position when it's not constrained in there. But basically that's how it opens up, all right? And it opens because you see these curved grooves in here. This piece actually rotates as the lens pops out. And these little teeny tiny, let me see if I can get it to focus. No, okay. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm learning, guys. This camera's brand new to me, so is filming stuff. All right, you probably can't see this at all from there, but this is the setup I got for today. Okay, there's these teeny tiny, they're not even a millimeter, little tiny plastic pegs on there. There's two on each because there's two curtains on each side, and one of those broke off. So basically 3 of the curtains would open, and then a third curtain would stay like that and would interfere. I guess when you zoomed in, it wouldn't be visible. This actually has a pretty good zoom range. Let me just look. I think the magnification factor is around 4, not magnification. The crop factor for the sensor is around 4x. So I think this is about 24 to 160. Maybe it's a little more than 4, because I think it's like 28. It's about 28 to 200, which is a pretty good zoom. And goes all the way down to f2.8 at the widest. And it's got some stabilization. All right. So I could try and super glue one of these things back on. I feel like it would break again. Looking this up, a lot of people complained about theirs. These are actually really clean, so they didn't get full of dirt and grit. A lot of people complained about these things being fragile. So my idea was, I measured this inner piece right here. Let me zoom in now. Okay. Wrong way. Okay, everything is kind of backwards. All right, I measured this piece, got my old calipers, and I ordered just a cheapo 39 to 40.5 millimeter step-up ring for filters, because this doesn't have any filter threads. That's the other issue. It actually has a really cool feature, or interesting feature at least. So check this out. This ring comes off, and then there's actually a Nikon official accessory that pops over this, and it's basically like a giant tube that comes up here, and then you can put filters here, which is pretty cool. You can put like magnification adapters for telephoto or for macro, but that kills the pocketability. This actually retracts all the way down so that this the grip here, it's about level with the grip. So what I'm going to do is this just sort of barely slides in there, and then when I have the filter threads, I'll put a filter on, and these should only stick out, let me thread these together. This is going to be approximate, but you know, this will only stick out, you know, maybe, okay, 350 thou. These will stick out, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch or something. Not too much, and if I maybe sand down the edges here, or it won't get stuck in your pocket, should still be pocketable, but then you'll be able to put any kind of filters on there. Oh, great. Let me silence this. All right, just a second. Whoop. Okay, so it has these little mounting bosses right there for the leaf curtains. I'd like to keep those, so theoretically I could put that back on at some point. And this is pretty cheap, so what I'm going to do, am I zoomed all the way? I am zoomed all the way in. Okay, so I am actually, I've already marked it right there with the Sharpie. So I'm actually going to file some grooves. Let me just get a rough. Okay, that's like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so those are about 1/8 of an inch in diameter. So I'm going to file, I've got some little jeweler's files here. I'm going to file about 1/8 inch groove right there. Hopefully this thing will hold together. And whoop, just take these out. I'll have a better storage solution. All right, so probably I should be stopping and starting. Oh my gosh, I'm already at 7 minutes. Wow, okay. So I guess I should do a better job of doing shorter clips. I'll stop this and I'll file away and I'll be right back. Whoa. Okay. Okay, one thing real quick here too is this ring is anodized. Man, my lighting. Okay, I can't wait to get the tripod and I can actually have a proper setup. Anyways, these rings are anodized aluminum. In the bigger filter sizes, you could buy, it's a couple bucks more, but you could buy black. So I think it was like an enamel type paint. Not sure how it was coated, but anyways, it was black. It was coated black, but they're actually made out of brass. And that's what I wanted because I thought, you know, I could sand it down on the outside and it would look super cool. The gold on the black would look super cool. But I could not find brass rings of this small size anywhere. I assume because, you know, the only things using 39 and 40.5 are like tiny point and shoots and stuff. So there's like zero high-end market. Anyways, that would have been cool. All right, so as you can see, I got it on both sides. I don't know why, but I was kind of focusing on the inside there. Ooh, sorry, on the inside there, which really doesn't make sense. So now I'm coming in across the top here because this depth is actually what it needs. It needs to just be able to sit down. Those bosses are keeping it from sitting in there, and for this ring being flush on the top. So I've got these, I've got it indexed pretty good. So if I put it up against these bosses, I'm assuming that I'm in focus, I can set them on there and it's indexing, it's locking on there, so I can't rotate it anymore. But let me get that back on there. It's not sitting all the way down in there. So I got another 1.5 millimeters maybe. So I'm gonna keep at this. All right, so I've got probably the depth I need at the base, but since I used a round piece there, I'm coming in with this little, wait, that's round two, picked up the wrong one. Okay, I'm coming in with this little square jeweler's file, and I'm going to square out those rounded corners, because these are round in this dimension, but in this dimension they're squared off. So I'm going to come in, square those corners. All right. Okay, this time I'm going to try and not say at the end of this clip. I almost just said it there. There's not a great way wow, I'll have to get better at that. There's not a great way for me to show you this, because this little ghetto overhead shot thing that I've bolted together is not easy to disassemble, but I'm using this light here, and I'm backlighting. There's another one, I'm backlighting here to see the gap, and I see that my squaring off is not deep enough. So I basically have to widen these out a tiny bit and square them off a little bit more. So I will do that. All right. So I can't see any light coming through the edge anymore, because basically it sits down in there deep enough where the bottom of this, see, this actually has, sorry, I'm always out of frame here because this has these little ridges here, I guess for indexing the piece the old piece. So this now goes down. There's a little bit more, so if you notice, I can rock it back and forth this way. So I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper until I can't rock it, meaning it's sitting flush on this edge, because if I don't do that and I sort of glue it in place, I'm running the risk of not being orthogonal to this axis, or really coplanar with the sensor would be the better way to say that. So I have no idea what a CPL that's not coplanar with the sensor does. Probably wouldn't be noticeable, but it's easy to go ahead and just go a little bit deeper until it's actually sitting on here and not on the bosses, on this circular rim instead of on those bosses. And then I should be able to get a pretty good alignment. All right. Well, that's not in focus at all. Here we go. Okay, well, I think I got the wobble. It's good. So I feel like trying to get it. It's pretty flush on there. This wobble is actually just the telescoping mechanism itself. So the next step is TBD. So I wish I had some black painter's tape or masking tape. I have this blue stuff. I have a black Sharpie. So what I'm actually thinking, now this is the thick stuff, I might need to get the thinner stuff. I'm actually thinking I'm going to cut a very thin piece of tape to go there, approximately that thick, and as thick as this old ring, and wish my could zoom in a little more from there, and tape that on, and then basically glue, basically just put a tiny bit of glue in these corners right here, and that'll actually soak through, or I could even put a drop like right there on those bosses right there, and then with this soaked in super glue, CA glue, this should be pretty hard. Yeah, but actually before that, let me test this. So put the battery in. I had to take the battery out to keep the telescoping part. So let's see. battery might be dead. It's been sitting there for a while. Okay, let me pop that off. All right. No. Dang it. Well, we missed that. Okay. So, put this right here. Okay. Improve the lighting a little bit. Okay. So if I turn it off, so you see how that rotates. That rotation was actually what drove, because this is purely mechanical. I mean, it's plastic and teeny tiny springs, but purely mechanical, and that is what drives it. Okay. So this looks like it's going to fit. So you see how that barely protrudes. Of course, you'll have a filter on top of that, but the filters aren't really all that high profile. So you see, originally it didn't protrude past the grip there. This will pop out a few millimeters. So let's just play with that again. So nice sound. You'll get to see that too this way. You'll actually get to, it's like a little bonus. All right, so let me open that up, take the battery out. If I don't take the battery out, what'll happen is it'll time out and then it will retract as it goes into sleep mode, which could be pretty bad. This is actually, I don't know if this is the original, because this camera is like over 10 years old. But it is a Nikon. I don't know if it's the original one that shipped with it. Okay, let's see. So now's the dangerous part. This is the potentially destructive part. I mean, it was destructive on this, but now I could potentially screw up the camera. So I don't know. Am I just gonna go for this? I think I might. I am going to use this, and I wonder if you'll be able to see if that'll look cool or not. Okay, super glue's been sitting a while. Let me see if it's even good. 1 second. All right, that was a bit of a pain, but I managed to get that open. I think what makes most sense, man, I'll be excited when I have that tripod, because I can get some nice, like, cool close-up shots. There's some really cool. This video is probably way too long, and it's all from one location, which is probably like the worst possible thing you can do. I think it's going to make the most sense if I tape this on first. Does that make sense? But that's going to be the most tedious way to do it. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so I'm just going to reach in here. I don't even know if you can see. You can't even see anything on the video. Okay. All right. So, preload this tube. I put a little masking tape down for the extra super glue. Okay, maybe this super glue isn't. Oh, no, there we go. Okay. All right. Still filming, yep. Oh, geez. I'm already ruining things. Let me get that off quick. Great, it's in the threads. So I might have to chase the threads. Cool. Okay. Just hold this in place. I wish you could see what I'm seeing through here. It's really cool looking. Jeez. Okay, so I need to move this out of the way so I can still see Okay. Oh, great. I'm just gonna let that. Can't decide if I should use accelerant. And I'm getting like okay. I'll let that dry. Wow, this whole shot's been retarded. Okay, I'm gonna record this because it might be catastrophic, so at least get it on film. I'm gonna hold some tape right here and try and hit that with some accelerant. Oh my gosh. That might have been really stupid. Okay. Well, hopefully that side. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully that side is glued on. Let me take a closer look. All right. Well, that side seems to be glued on, and this is kind of unnatural for me. I'm used to being a lot more careful about things, but trying to just push myself here. This one's actually harder for me to see. Okay. All right, I'm gonna glue this one up. Okay. I think I got a little, basically just using surface tension. So hopefully there's a little bit of super glue bridging there. Two pieces, and I can do the same old. Ooh, that's a lot. Oof. Let me see about. See this? I just worry. Well, we'll find out. The solvent and that accelerant, I don't know what it does to plastic. I guess we'll all find out, or I will. I'll let you know. All right. So it's on there pretty good. I'm still going to need to put some kind of tape or something along the edge here, just to keep light from leaking in. I know that's a thing people do intentionally now for effect, but actually I have a lens. I bought this lens for doing that right here. Polar Pro light leak lens. It's pretty cool. It's a little overpriced for what it is, but all right, what am I doing? Okay, so I'm going to put the battery back in, turn it off and on, see if it still works. Whoops. Okay, turn the thing on. Turn the thing on. Okay, I see that the screen came on. Time zone. Okay. That still seems to work. It did that little stutter move, fake out move before, so that's nothing new. So that seems to work. Let me see if I buggered up the threads or not. Kind of don't want to rip it off before I get it a little bit more secure on there. I'll just put that in there gently. I need to clean the lens and everything, but let's turn this on. Okay. Well, it's saying I haven't set the time, but there we go. Take a picture. Oh. Is it taking a video? Is it taking the video? I forget if there's a separate video button. Oh no, you hold it down. Okay, so now it's taking a video, 720. Maybe it doesn't do 1080. Okay, let me turn that off. Let me put it in photo mode. Take a little photo. Of course, it's not going to do colors as well in this terrible artificial light, but it does amazing in natural light. So there we go, photo. Actually, let me make sure I'm all the way. Okay, so if I zoom in, zoom all the way out, yeah, so no leaf curtain obstructing the view at the widest. So I would say I've probably got this fixed. Whoop, okay, let me turn it back on, take the battery back out, and let's see about getting some tape around there, and then I guess it'll be a composite, a masking tape super glue composite, which should be quite strong. Okay. Oh. This might actually be a tiny bit too wide, and it wasn't long enough. Wonder if that's going to interfere or not. Wheel. I'm going to cut this second piece a little bit narrower. Okay. Cut this off. Okay. Try again. See how bad I can scratch the anodizing. And I messed that up. Right. All right, well, before I cover this in super glue, which I feel like I should bust out the thinner super glue so it'll actually soak in here. Maybe I should just use it for a minute like this before I bust out the super glue. Let me take a picture of, oh, okay. Put the battery back in. Oh, no SD card. Oh, dang it. I was gonna say, let me take a picture of this terrible setup so you can see how bad it is. Let me see. No SD card. You know what? I think this has internal memory, which is weird because new ones don't. Let me just put this on there just for fun. Okay. Okay, seems pretty solid. Not going to do much. Well, it's going to rotate all the smudges. Okay. Wow, maybe none of that was in frame. Let me just take a quick picture of this absolutely ridiculous setup. Okay, here we go. This lighting doesn't work well for this camera. Okay, well, there's my setup. So I'll look through the screen and show you this screen. Okay. This was absolutely a terrible idea. That's all right. So just going to show you here. Nikon Coolpix P7100. Takes 40.5 millimeter filters now. Got a cheapo polarizing filter on there, and here's the turn on. Boom. It's got an accent color, blue painter tape accent color. Might hit that with the Sharpie. And yeah, this video is probably half an hour. I can't believe how long. I don't know if I'm ramble too long, or I guess to do this properly you just have to do like a million cuts and move the camera in between every cut, and just restate something if you realize you rambled on. I am just going to, for today, just to actually get something done, I'm just gonna on the command line take all these MP4 files and concatenate them all into one long giant file, because if I have to actually edit it, I'll take forever and I'll never actually get that done. So probably no one's gonna watch this all the way to the end. If you do, that's awesome. Subscribe. And I will maybe take some pictures of this camera and some nice lighting, and take some pictures from this camera, and I might post those too. It takes pretty nice pictures, and maybe I'll give an update on how it does. All right, see you guys. Bye bye.